You know what song it
I
is?
do. I've been since you proposed this idea to me, I've been really thinking about this for days. I think even a couple of weeks, and I've kind of ebbed and flowed different songs. And I mean, can I have more than one song?
You can do whatever. This is your day, girl.
All right, all right, good. Um, so one song that comes to mind is by Florence and the Machine, Dog Days Are Over. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but
Yeah.
what I like about it is I don't hear it that often. And so when I hear it, it's like, I don't want to say it's joyful, but it kind of gives me like a little kick in my day in a good way. And it reminds me about just, anything that you've gone through that at the time you thought, I'm never not going to be sad about this. I'm never not going to feel low about this or terrible about this. And then one day you feel okay. And then another day you feel better than okay. And so this particular song reminds me of that. And so I enjoy it. And I do like that I don't hear it that often because I think that's important. And the other song is Thank You by Alanis Morissette. Basically, what Thank You by Alanis Morissette is about, and I think it's really about once you have perspective on a certain situation, and that sometimes that can take a long time to get there, you're appreciative of, like, oh, I actually appreciated that I was grieving that, or I appreciate that pain. And not that you necessarily would say, I'd like to have that experience again, but you're seeing things in a much clearer way because when you're living in it, it's really hard to see things clearly. And that's why I'm a really big advocate of really sort of stepping out of yourself and giving yourself that self-care and that alone time to really just sort of sit in it. And I would say for years and years, I wouldn't sit in it. I would push it down, push it down, push it down. And I would become like a massive workaholic. And I would say that we're all addicts in some way. That's where my addiction lies. So I would just like, oh, I'm going to go get my master's degree. I think I'm going to go to law school. I think I'm going to do this. I think, all to sort of avoid that pain. And that's a perfect segue into This Girl Is on Fire by Alicia Keys, which, I don't need to be reminded of the glow up. I don't need to be reminded that I'm fire. It's just kind of like, yeah, I am girl on fire and owning that. And I say this to you, I say this to Alex, I say this to my friends, I say this to my students, own your awesome.
Hmm.
It's that weird balance between confidence and arrogance, but like own your awesome. And so, and that's just how I feel about it. So I thank you for letting me have a bunch of songs because I think it's sort of the build up to that. And I like that mindset of I'm thriving despite you, despite that incident, despite what happened or whatever it is. And a therapist said to me, and this was really groundbreaking for me. She said the first thing you said to me when we had that intake call was, "I choose to be happy. I'm going through a period of grief right now, but I choose to be happy. I know what joy feels like." And she said, when you don't experience or even acknowledge the other emotions, it's all watered down. So if
Hmm.
you're all choosing to be happy, and I thought no one had ever said anything like that to me. And so it was kind of like, oh, it's okay. I think anyone that is really sort of struggling with what I just said when we kicked off our time together today with I'm always going to feel this way. I'm always going to feel like it's over for me or it can't, I'm never ever going to dig myself out of this. And so I think these songs can help that. And I think as I've gotten older, now I know when things happen that I didn't plan or I didn't think
Hmm.
it was going to go that way. I know me and I know that, this too shall pass. And it sounds like something sort of corny to say, but I often say that to myself or else this too shall pass because it really isn't forever. It
Yeah.
really, really isn't.